According to New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman, who of course has spent a lot of time with Donald Trump and has actually developed rapport with his staffers, advisors, and aides, Maggie Haberman said in an interview this week that Donald Trump's advisors are actually telling him the only way you're going to avoid prison is to win the 2024 election. Here is what Haberman said on CNN this week. At the moment, he is seeing this broadly as a threat to his freedom, and his advisors have been, in private conversations, pretty blunt that they see it as he has to win the election, and that is how he guarantees that he does not face jail time. And of course, this is one of the big reasons why Donald Trump had his lawyers go to court this week and beg Judge Eileen Cannon to delay the documents trial till after the 2024 election, because Donald Trump seems to believe, one, that he's totally going to win the election, which, wow, that's wishful thinking if I've ever seen it, and two, that once he wins the election, gets sworn in on January 20th, 2025, he'll just pardon himself for everything and all of his legal problems go away. But see, and of course that apparently is what his advisors, according to Haberman, are likely suggesting to him as well. But that just opens up a whole new can of worms. First of all, it all hinges on whether or not you win that election. Because if you lose in 2024, even if you've managed to successfully push the trials past that election, if you lose, you still have to go on trial. And then we have a Democrat in the White House that is definitely not going to pardon you, so you could be spending, based on when the trials happen and the sentencing, 3 years in jail before a Republican president has the opportunity to even come along and then pardon you. So that's a big gamble in and of itself. But then let's assume, crazier things have happened, that Donald Trump wins the 2024 election, pardons himself for everything, then everything's cool for him, right? Not exactly. Well, the reason for that is because presidential pardons for themselves have never been tested. So even if Trump were to pardon himself, this is definitely something that would end up in the court system. Now, I have no doubt that a Republican-controlled Supreme Court is going to say, yes, the president has the power to pardon themselves. And to be honest, I don't disagree with that if that is the ruling that ultimately happens, again, a couple years down the road. And here's why. Legally speaking, presidential pardon powers do not specifically exclude the president from pardoning themselves. And because it is not explicitly listed that the president cannot do it, it is therefore implied that the president can do that. So legally speaking, yes, Trump would likely be able to pardon himself, however, it would, of course, work its way through the court system there. But then we also have the fact that acceptance of a presidential pardon, according to that same Supreme Court, is also admission of guilt. So, there's that. Not that Republicans care about that at all. And then all of this also forgets the fact that he's also likely facing state charges in Georgia for which he would not be able to pardon himself for. So even if he's successful on the federal level, I won the election, I've pardoned myself, hoo boy, Georgia could still be like, yeah, but you're still going to spend time in a Georgia state prison because you can't pardon yourself from that. Oh, and by the way, you also managed to campaign against the guy that's governor of the state of Georgia that would be able to pardon you, but you pissed him off so bad he's probably not going to do it. So there's lots of different scenarios that could play themselves out. And to be honest with you, none of them go the way that Donald Trump's advisors are telling him that it could go. Thanks for watching, everyone, and well, here comes the awkward part at the end of the video where I ask you to like, comment, and share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. Also, you should consider becoming a member for some exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description.